Hello, gorgeous people of E Squared. So we are going to get started with the energetics before we dive into the content. I want to tell you something very important. The fact that you are here is fantastic because I cannot tell you the ratios in the industry for how many people click on things they say they're going to do and then never show up. The ratio is devastating. It's so bad. The people with good intentions. And this is such a perfect thing for what we're going to talk about over the 5 days. Like, why do some of us make it and some of us don't? So why is it that some of us make it and some of us don't? Why? Well, the first thing is, how strong is your word? So there are people who will sign up for things and they will never show up. They'll say, I'll watch the replay. It doesn't matter. They don't show up. So the fact that you registered and then that you're here is extraordinary. So I want to really congratulate you for being here. Now, there's another piece of it. How long can you stick with what you say you're going to do? So there's the excitement of the first level, yes, that moment where you say, yes, I'm in, I'm doing it. I'm starting the thing, I'm doing it, I'm showing up for it, and you show up for the first day. This is where the motivation is the highest. And unfortunately, motivation has very little to do with success because motivation is created, which means it's circumstantial. And the problem with circumstantial energy is as soon as the world changes, we drop it. And we cannot hold it. So what we want to create is, first things first, our word is law. When we say we're going to do something, we show up for it. But then second, we show up for it and we bring our energy, and our energy is sustainable throughout the entire thing. This means today is day 1 and you're here, and I'm going to see you again on day 2. So you get to decide. You get to decide that you're going to be the kind of person that can stick to something for 5 days, or you decide that you're going to do your best, or you decide that you'll be here as long as ... or you don't even know when the other ones are scheduled for. There's all kinds of different levels of commitment. I have seen so many women come into my world, and I can tell so fast who's got it. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have it, you can't have it. It just means that if you've got it, you can start right away. Whereas if you don't have it, the it factor, which we're going to talk about, if you don't have it, you've got to craft it inside of yourself. And if you become brave, if you are brave long enough, if you have integrity with your word long enough, if you stand in alignment with your commitments and your dreams, if you stand in alignment with your word and your integrity long enough, something inside you changes. If you're able to stick with it without quitting, your identity changes. And this is something I want you to feel and I want you to experience during these 5 days. I'm not going to speak to you like you're there and I'm here. I'm going to talk to you like this is the truth. I'm going to talk to you like we're both here, where I am, where my beliefs are. And what I want you to know is that over the 5 days, there are going to be things I'm going to say and you'll be like, but that's impossible. The only reason it's true for me and it's not true for you is because I have evidence. But it's true for both of us. Every single thing I say is true, no matter how hard it is to believe. Every single thing I say in the next 5 days is true. And you might say to me, yeah, but it's true for you. It's true for me because I know it's true. But if it's true, then why isn't it true for me? Because you don't believe it's true. It's that simple. It is that simple. You're going to have moments where I touch things where you're like, this frustrates me though. Because if it were true, then ... it's true. But if it were that simple, it's that simple. But what about no matter what? I promise you this. There will be a day, if you stick to what I'm telling you and you believe what I tell you and you listen like it's the truth and you do what you do, there will be a day where you have everything that you want. And it will be so clear that what I'm telling you right now is the truth, you'll be like, what the heck happened? The thing that was not true is all of a sudden true, what changed? You have evidence. There's two kinds of people in this world. There's the people who need evidence before they believe, and there's the people who believe and who magnetize evidence. What I desire more than anything is that during this 5-day masterclass, you become the kind of people who magnetize the evidence. The kind of people who say, oh, I believe. I believe, bring it. And the universe responds. Instead of, when I see it, I believe it, which is what the majority of the world says, when I see it, I'll believe it. And then, well, they're still waiting to see. We're going to be the kind of people in this group who change the way the response system works. You go first, the universe responds. You go first, and the universe responds. And I'm going to read you something. And you may have seen this on my timeline. You may have read it yourself. I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to read it to you again at the end of this program. And my hope for you is that it will sound very different at the end than it did at the beginning. This is one of the most simple things I have ever written. And in the beginning, when you hear it the first time, it might feel like, I think I need to read that again. We will post it in the group so you can read it as often as you desire. This is the most simple truth on the planet. Are you ready? I hate that phrase. I'll believe it when I see it. Not the best. Okay, here is what I'm reading you. You are potentiality materialized. Within you dwells the same energetic makeup as everything in this world and beyond. You are everything. In being everything, there is nothing you cannot do or have. You can do and have it all. The beyond your wildest dreams, greater than anything you can comprehend with your human mind kind of all. You are everything. You are an energetic match for everything because you are the potentiality of all things. But then you begin to question it with the human mind. Define it with human standards and doubt it with human logic. Unless you can comprehend it, it can't be. Then you're only a match for what you believe because you made it so. But you were born an energetic match for everything. And without your observation of it, you still are. But your observation changes it because of your need to comprehend it. You don't need to create the possibility where you can be, do, or have it all. You just need to stop the disallowing of it. It dwells in the field of potentiality like any other outcome. Without your observation of it, it's perfect, whole, and accessible. It is our humanity that rearranges our experience of the universe and everything inside it. We become an energetic match for what we believe is so, not because it's difficult to become an energetic match for what we desire, but because we believe it is so. That it's difficult, that there's something wrong, that it will take time, that we are not enough, that there is something we must do in order to be, but it's quite the opposite. The very potentiality of our becoming was a match for everything. And the realization, the materialization of that potentiality, our birth, was a match for everything. We were born pure potentiality, and nothing has changed other than the momentary lapses of time where we question it. But it is always there, right here, right now. There is nothing to do but remember. This is the simplest explanation of what I'm going to take you through in the next 5 days. This is as simple as it is when we don't complicate it or try to understand it. It is this simple. Now, here's what happens. Your body as a human, I just cried a little. Your body as a human goes through things. You have thoughts in your brain. You have feelings that take over your human body. And in those moments, the reality of the world feels different, but it's only different to you in the moment where you're thinking and feeling things. So you're experiencing the world with your thoughts and your feelings. This is your humanity. But there's another aspect to you. Your soul, your spirit, your magic, your energy, the thing that's alive. It's beyond the humanity. I wrote that. So what I want you to comprehend more than anything in this program is I'm going to take you through the emotions and the energetics of manifestation, because this is what it's about. It is not about what you do. And although I have ginormous crystals next to me, like I've got like monster crystals all over the place. I've got crystals at my feet. I've got crystals next to me. I've got crystals all over the place. Oh. Like we are surrounded by the crystals. And it's like, you put the crystals in your bra. This one's not the right one. I'm trying to put in my bra. You put the crystals in your bra, you meditate, you drink alignment tea, you pray. But the bottom line is, it's not what you do. By the time you're doing it, you've already crossed a very important line. And the very important line that you've crossed is the internal world. What you do in the physical world has already transcended the magical place where all the things align. When you try to do things in the physical world, you've already passed the magic zone. And the magic zone is like the unspoken, like it's not, you can't touch it. I can't show you sadness like this. You can't hold sadness, but you can hold sadness. You can't see feelings. You can't see thoughts, but you can feel them. You can feel the energy of them when you walk into a room. You can feel someone's not feeling right. Like, whoa, you feel it in your body. This person isn't doing right. This person is negative. I love this person. She's so positive. When I spend time with this person, I'm fired up. I feel it. I'm alive. It's something you feel. What is alignment tea? I don't know, but I think someone needs to make it. So you are completely experiencing life before you ever do a thing. Inside of you, there's an experience, an emotional experience and an energetic experience before you even do anything about it. So many people are trying to override the emotions and the energetics. They're like, what do I need to do? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And what I want you to know is that you could do your entire life and it might never work if you're doing it only on the other side of the inner work. Overriding the fear you're feeling, overriding the thoughts you're having, overriding all of the things and just trying to just do the thing, it doesn't work. And it's so frustrating that, because it's like, but why doesn't it work? It should work. There's no reason why this shouldn't work. It should work. Great, but it doesn't. But just like, what do I need to do? Like, how do I make money? How do I attract my perfect partner? How do I create a brand that people fall in love with? I'm so glad I'm setting your soul, lighting your soul ablaze. That makes me so happy. How do I do it? And the thing is, if you're asking yourself that question, you're probably not energetically there yet. You know how I know this? Because when I do the real deep work with my clients, and I take them to the depth of their feelings, and we do the deep work and we do the things, eventually there comes a time where they just get it. They don't just get it, they are it. And when they are it, the questions are far more few and far between. They just know. And it's almost hard to say how do you pick the name for your program? How do you pick your pricing? How do you make your decision? If you're asking that question, you're not there yet. Because you're asking out of fear and you're asking out of stress and you're asking out of thoughts so what you're trying to do is override all that you are and do. And you can't. Not if you want to do something extraordinary. Not if you want to do something huge. You can't. Because the people, they can't get enough of you. Not what you do. They don't care at all what you do until they can't get enough of you. But how do I make them not be able to get enough of me? What if they don't like me? What if they think this of me? What if? This is how you know you're still in the first phase of this coming together. And I want you to know this is you'd think this is entry level stuff. You'd think this is this is for beginners. I've had this conversation with clients of mine who make $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a month. Because there's another level. There's another level of self-mastery. This is the work. The inner work, the inner game, the actual thing that is your job on this planet is to get so clear on your energy and your emotions that you magnetize the things that you desire. You magnetize the people, you magnetize the places, you magnetize the experiences, you magnetize them. And when you don't understand your power, you think life is happening to you. It is not. It is happening for you because you prayed for something and then you forgot. You asked for something and then you forgot. You wanted something and the way it showed up didn't look exactly the way you thought it did, so you want to send it back. You ordered it off the catalog of the universe. Dear universe, I would like to be a multi-millionaire. By the end of this year, I will do whatever it takes. All my love and kisses, Melanie. Send the letter out to the universe. The universe goes, all right. This woman sounds serious. Let's send her something to handle and see if it's true. And then you receive the package from the universe and you're like, how very dare you send me this? I tell you I'm ready for greatness and you send me this? This isn't greatness, this is terrible. And the universe is like, I know that you can handle the good part. I know that you can handle the riches and the incredible chemistry and the romance and the money and the trips and the luxury and the effortlessness. I know that you can handle that. So I just made sure you could handle the rest. What did I do? Why? Why does the universe do this to me? I had just declared to the universe that this was my year. I said, this is my year. Then this happens. Because you said this was your year, this happens. I said, it's ready for the real relationship with the real good guy. Then the universe sends me this guy. And I knew he was bad. I knew he was bad for me, but I was like, I've already told the universe I'm ready for a good relationship. So the universe sends me this guy. So obviously, fell in love with the guy, even though I know he wasn't the right guy. No, that was the decoy guy. That was the guy the universe sends to make sure that you're actually ready for the good guy that was at the next stoplight that then made a U-turn and went home. Because you didn't handle that decision very well. I get it. I got it. I believe. I get it. Send me the same situation again. I'll be ready. I'm ready. I know the rules now. Send me the same situation again. We don't send you the same situation again because that would be cheating. So here's a completely unrelated mess. Let's see how you handle this one. Why is this happening to me? First I get this, then I tell the universe I'm ready, and what does the universe do? It sends me this other completely unrelated thing that I didn't ask for. Or have you been praying for strength Have you been praying for greatness? Have you been asking yourself, oh gosh, what does this girl have that I don't have? I could just have what she has. And then the universe says, so be it. And it sends you a story. It sends you an opportunity for a story in your life. Because you know what that girl has? She's got a story. She's got a story about how it was unpredictable and wild and crazy. And she stood up for herself and she made miracles happen. That's what she had. She had a story. So the universe sends you a story. It's perfect. You asked. The universe sent you a storm. All you need to do is step in as the leading lady in your freaking life and take this story by the horns and lead your life. And on the other side of that, there's everything you've ever needed. If you lead yourself through this story that you prayed for, and it's there. But you're not going to look at it like that, are you? You're going to look at it like another failure, like another mess, like another reason that you can't, that you're not good enough, that you're not cut out for this. And then you shrink. The beauty of this journey is the more self-aware you are, the more aware you are of yourself, the more your life changes. Because everything responds to you. I know this because I cannot tell you how many women I've walked with through these storms, myself included. I've shown up for myself in ways that I've blown my own mind in situations. I know who I was before this worked for me. Now I want to give you an idea because some of you I know are meeting me for the first time. And I want you to know that for me, wealth was always something other people had. It just didn't really make sense. Money. It didn't really make sense. I didn't know what rich people did, but it didn't make sense. I didn't know how. It didn't make sense. And I probably was not going to be wealthy because I very much remember when my dad told me, like, you have got to go to university. And if you do not go to university, you will never have a good job and it's not going to be good for you. Like, you have got to go. And then I flunked out of high school. So it was like written in the clouds for me that I would struggle my whole life. That was just what was going to happen. And once this reality really hit me that I was going to be broke for my whole life, I kind of went into panic mode. So I did what I thought would be the best thing. Like, I got myself a job as I sold clothes in a store and I became the manager of a clothing store when I was 18 years old. And I was proud of myself because I really didn't think I was going to do anything way more than be a manager in a clothing store because I dropped out of high school. And I was very clearly told when you drop out of high school, you basically sign your life away. And that's what I did. So I struggled from not good boyfriend to not good boyfriend because another thing that happened in my life is I didn't understand masculine and feminine energetics at all. And I took on a very masculine energy role in my life. Everything I did was masculine. From my friends, I treated my friends in masculine energy, my boyfriends with masculine energy, my family with masculine energy. I was the boss of everybody. I could not be wrong. I was very much, I will do anything to be successful and to be right as long as I'm not afraid, which means I've got to be the best. So I would put myself in very mediocre situations to make sure that I was the best of everyone. Because I did have a strong gumption about me. Like, I would win no matter what. So all I needed to do in order to win no matter what was make sure that I never put myself in a position where I might be with people who could win. Great. So I surrounded myself with top class human beings. It wasn't great. And eventually I found a job that was kind of cool. It's the first time that I found my personal power. The first time I ever found a job that was based on my ability. 100% commission job. I'm the boss. This is my first experience. I feel like I'm the boss. And I'm 100% commission. My job was like, you know, on QVC when you watch people sell like lint rollers and the ShamWow and the slap chop, that kind of thing. That's what I did. And I became the top salesperson in the company. I would get to all the trips and win all the things. But this was purposeless work. I'm selling cheese graters and slap chops and cheese mills and all the things. But I'm making a lot of money. more money than most people, but I'm a carny. I'm not in love with my work, not at all. But I find a purpose in becoming a coach inside of this company because I'm a sales coach. I help the people that come in learn how to do it. So I learned this craft. I become successful at it. I become a trainer. And I get this boyfriend involved that doesn't really like it, but I'm like, we're going to do this together and you're going to like it. I'm trying to motivate him, he's got potential. Motivating the guy. And eventually, I'm the trainer and he's the manager of the company. And I know in all of my body that he's not the right guy for me. And I know in all of my body that this job is not the right job for me. So I didn't love my life, but I didn't know what else to do. So, there's the, what would I do? How would I change? I've dropped out of high school. Mastercut. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? This is the best thing that's ever happened ever. This is making my whole life. Emmanuel also was Jesco. This is amazing. All this to say that I one day have the power inside and I realize I gotta leave the boyfriend. It's the first step to self-actualization. I've gotta leave the boyfriend. Except the thing with Jesco is they're allowed to fire you from districts. It's a very strange company with very little ethics where they're allowed to make decisions that make no sense. Like, you're fired from Montreal, banished, but you can work 200 kilometers outside of your radius. So I got banished from Montreal where my ex was working, but I was allowed to work in Sherbrooke. Now, here's the thing about sales. When you cannot connect to people, you can't sell. When you're trying to look like when you're trying, people can feel it. When you're pretending that you're okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the rushing representative. Everyone squeeze in to the counter. When really I want to faint and cry and scream and yell, people are like, there's a very strange energy about this person. So the strangest thing started to happen. I used to go to this microphone. I would take it off the wall and I would say, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In less than 2 minutes from right now, I'll be handing out free gifts to every adult shopper in the store right now. And what would happen in the store, as I said this, is there would be energy in the store like I'm speaking the words of God. And people would stop with their carts. What's she saying? We will be handing out free gifts in less than 2 minutes. This will be at the red counter with the flashing light, but you're going to have to hurry to get there because it's going to be in 2 minutes from now. I could feel the energy in the store like, what are we going to do? People would flock to the counters. And then I would show up and all these people would be there expectantly waiting for their gift. And I would squeeze them all tight around the counter so I would have proximity. And I would say, all right, everyone squeeze in so I can reach you. Everybody in the back, squeeze in. This would not work right now with COVID. Everybody squeeze in real tight. I'm going to hand you out your gift. And here's what's going to happen. I sometimes could gather crowds of 100 people to give a microfiber cloth or a little special knife, whatever it was. I could gather hundreds of people in a store. Every last person in every last aisle was gathered around my counter. They were listening to me like I held the holy grail of gifts. Squeeze on in. I've got a gift for you. They would squeeze in so close, they could probably smell the inside of each other's ear holes, but they were so enraptured by this gift that they would get, that they would be so close to me. I could reach the 7th row in the back, hand to hand, for this paring knife that they could not breathe until they received. They would just be. And I would hand them their gifts and I'd say, now don't go because there's something I'm going to talk to you about. And there's this thing and this program. And I'm going to, not this program. I'm selling programs now. This knife or whatever it is, you got to stay. And I'm going to show you how it works. And then I would show them how the product works. And when we got to the end, it was so easy. I just said, you want one? You want one? You want one? You want one? Those of you who want one, let me know right now. And you get to buy the whole set. So you want one, and you want one, and you want one, and you want one, and people will be like, yes. And I could sell to this one little crowd. I could sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of nice sets of cheese mills, of magic cloths. People were enraptured for 40 minutes about this sales pitch, about this fun thing. It was so fun. And in one split second, with one breakup, I swear, I grabbed that phone and I said, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In less than 2 minutes from right now, we'll be giving out free gifts. And no one stopped in the store. They just didn't even hear me. Same human, same store, same voice. No one heard a word I said. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be giving out the free gifts in less than 2 minutes. It's at the flashing light, the big red booth with the flashing light. No one would go. And if I did happen to have a few people waiting there, they were very far from the booth and they were like, I don't trust you at all. And if I said, come close so I can give you your gift, they were like, lady. I need to be able to reach you. I can't throw the gift, squeeze it. They would not have a word of it. So from making thousands of dollars a week, like it made no sense. Thousands of dollars a week. I couldn't even make $100 a week. And soon I couldn't pay for my hotel anymore. And I will never forget the first night that I had to take my stuff out of my hotel room and I had to sleep in my Honda Civic because I did not have enough gas to get home, because I did not have enough money to pay for a hotel room, and because I did not have the ego to tell anybody that I was about to sleep in my car. That was the first night I slept in my car. The money situation went from bad to worse to bad to worse to bad to worse. I could not pay my bills. And unfortunately, Jesco was not doing very well, so they were skipping paychecks and they were having problems with their pays, and I was not getting paid on time. And it wasn't long before there was no money, no food, no nothing, and I was sleeping in the front seat of my Honda Civic. This was in February of 2013. My whole life got destroyed. Like everything got destroyed. Everything. And I have never in my life been so mad at life, and I have had some awful things happen in my life, but this was for me the worst. And I did not believe anything could change because I had no evidence that things could change. So I remember very specifically being sitting in the front seat of my car and Googling in my smartphone how to make your ex-boyfriend cry. Like that was the level of emotional intelligence that I had at this time. I wanted to punish him. I wanted him to suffer as much as I was suffering. I wanted him to pay. I was livid. I couldn't get him out of my head. I couldn't get him out of my hatred. I could not. It was his fault. Everything was his fault. But you know who else's fault it was? It was the stupid fault of all the people who were terrible friends that I couldn't just call and tell. It was their stupid fault as well. And you know who else's stupid fault it was? It's my parents' stupid fault. Because if they hadn't told me that this guy was no good for me, then, if they hadn't told me so many times, and then I wouldn't feel like they would say, told you so, well then, maybe I would feel supported. And, maybe if they weren't so judgmental, and maybe if they didn't expect so much of me, then maybe I could have called them. But no, so it was their stupid fault. So it was their stupid fault, and his stupid fault, and everybody's stupid fault. And you know what? It was Jesco's stupid fault because now they were defaulting on payments. And it was the hotel's stupid fault. Like, I would have paid them eventually. Like, it was everybody's fault. And I just remember sitting in this car with so much anger. And I got myself to a place where one night my heart started to beat in a weird way. And I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack. And I had to breathe my way through it like, I'm going to have a heart attack. Like something's very wrong. I'm going to have a heart attack. I was able to breathe through it the first night. Eventually, my heart was beating so fast, I felt like I had two hearts in my chest. Over time, I was able to go to the hospital for it, and I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. you can physically damage yourself with your thoughts and your feelings. I didn't know that, but I found out. Here's the thing, I had zero emotional intelligence. None. All I had was circumstantial power. And I had lived my whole life until this moment, with circumstantial power. You know what this means? This means I put myself in situations where I would be the best no matter what. I put myself in situations where there was no competition, where I could be the best, so that I didn't have to face anything that wasn't perfection, because I could not handle it. So I chose mediocre men I would always be better than, mediocre friends that never called me, that I could be the one to say that if I didn't call, they wouldn't call. I chose mediocre job, mediocre house, mediocre taste, mediocre dreams, mediocre everything, so that I never had to feel disappointed. Disappointment is the greatest feminine energy wound on the planet. Women and disappointment, it is the greatest trigger wound on the planet. We go to the edges of ourselves. We lose ourselves so far to try to not be disappointed. It's shocking. And this is something usually that happens to us when we're very young. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to feel the disappointment. So we box ourselves into lives that are so easy and so boring and so mediocre that our biggest problem is that we forget how powerful we are. Because it's always been so easy that when we actually let ourselves want something big, we don't even remember how to do it anymore. We don't remember. We don't remember how to go for what we want because we've been settling for what wouldn't cost us disappointment our whole lives. And I know some of you here are in your teens, and some of you here are in your 20s, and some of you here are in your 30s, and some of you in here in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. And it's still the same wound if no one has taught you how to unprogram the wound. I feared disappointment my whole life. And the flip side of fearing disappointment is you create a disappointing life. But the problem is this: you don't realize what you've created until you're looking back at it, telling the story. And in my experience, this is what wisdom is. Wisdom is what happens when you get to the end and you look back. So I got very lucky, because this terrible story that took me through all kinds of different emotions to the point where I really didn't think I wanted to be on the planet anymore. I really did take myself down a very difficult, ugly path, which I know a lot of people in the world have had. But when I met myself at the very worst of it, something happened. Something changed inside of me, because what I realized is that it would be a worse disappointment for life to end the way I was right then. The greatest disappointment of life would be if life ended now. I realized there would be nothing more disappointing than this being all I'd ever done. You understand what I mean when I say that? Like, you don't want to be disappointed. You picked the wrong guy. You fall in love. He breaks your heart. I get that. You don't want to be disappointed. You try so hard to be successful, to be wealthy, to be all these things. And you try so hard and it doesn't work and it breaks your heart. You don't want that. I hear you. You try so hard to lose the weight, to do the thing one more time. Might as well just give up and accept. I get it. Might as well just can't handle another friend breaking your heart, breaking their word, not having your back. So who needs friends anyway? I get it. But if there for some reason was a moment, just one moment right now, for you to ask yourself what it would feel like if this was it. This was it. This is it. You've got about 2 minutes and your life ends. Tell me that those things matter now. The fear of being disappointed, you would stare it right in the face. If life ended in 2 minutes, most of you would be disappointed that this was it. You'd say, no. No. Okay, I trust men. I trust. I want the relationship that takes my breath away. I'm good. I'm fine. I'll be fine. Like I don't mind having my heart broken. Just let me have this one love story in my life. For the love of God, please don't let me go without ever feeling that. No, I want to travel. I want to see. There's so many things I want to see. Don't let me go before I've seen the things I want to see. Please don't let me go like this. Nobody will remember my name. I did none of the things. I haven't written the book yet. Please don't let me go now. I haven't done the thing. I haven't written the book. I haven't met the guy. I haven't built the business. I haven't made the money. I haven't said I'm sorry. I haven't rekindled the relationship. I haven't forgiven my mother. I haven't done it. Please. I can do it. And then you would be wise. In that one moment, you would be wise. Because this life is not about the little moments you feel disappointment. It's about the lifetime you build. It's about the whole life you make. And you will navigate through pain. You will. You will navigate through fear. You will navigate through disappointment. You will be disappointed. I know you will. You know why? Because your soul knows what you're capable of, and your human is still trying to catch up. This will be the story of your life. Your soul will paint pictures of magic on the wall, and your human will play a little short in case it hurts. And your soul will say, you can do so much better than this. But because you know it's going to play out this way, you don't even let the human play. You say, we're out before we've even started, because I don't want to feel that. But this is the game. You have a vision that is greater than anything you will ever comprehend. You got to be able to work with it. You've got to be wise now. What if you were able to grab the wisdom, all the things that you might know when you get to the end, and somehow you could know them now? I will tell you, there is one program of mine. If this conversation gets you, there is a program of mine called Femme Fatale. And I have had women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s take this program. I have had women in tears in their 60s take this program and say, you have given me the rest of my life. And the only thing I wish is that I would have met you sooner. Women, this is across the board. Women tell me, if I would have just known then what I know now, I can't even begin to imagine what my life would be if I would have known then what I know now. There are so many different ways that you acquire knowledge in your life. Getting to the end of your rope is one of the ways. I went to the end of my rope. But my desire is that the people who are magnetized to me get to live through what I've understood and tap into that wisdom without having to go through the things. You will still feel when I tell you. If you're sitting in your life right now, if you're sitting in your house, if you're sitting and you're feeling my words and you barely know me or you do know me, but when I speak, you feel it here, like this might as well be happening inside of your body. You're transforming through my mistakes. This is calibration. As you get it, you get it, even though you didn't have to go through the pain. I've given you the same feeling inside that you don't want this to be it. To some degree, you felt a piece of what I got without having to take your life to the end of your rope. This means you get to know now what you would know then. And you collapse time around what you can do in your life. I strongly believe that the things that I learned during this difficult time in my life helped me collapse time at hyperspeed for everything that came after that, because I don't put time in the way anymore. So we have this incredible life, right? We've got this life. We've all got one. Some people are living at large. They've got everything. They've got the incredible relationship. They've got the money. They've got the time freedom, the money freedom, the incredible friends, the amazing family, the health. They've got it all. There's people who have none of it. And there's people who are somewhere in the middle. And what I've come to realize is that as far as we're willing to play the game, that's as far as we can win it. But we've got to be willing to go all in the game. You've got to stop protecting whatever it is that you think you can't handle, because you can. The thing you're protecting in the end will mean nothing when there's no time left. I promise you, in the end, this thing you're protecting will mean nothing at all. And in the moment where that veil will get lifted, it'll feel like the freaking Matrix. It'll be like, what was I doing? What is this ego thing? What is this safety thing I thought I had? What is this safety thing you think you have? I don't know. Because this whole thing is on a timer that no one can see for all of us. So what are we protecting? When you learn to just live, something magical happens. In these 5 days, I want you to feel like you got your life back, like you somehow stepped into a freaking brainwashing machine and step out on the other side realizing how powerful you are. In your experience of life, in who you are, in your ability to do the things you've always wanted to do, and in your ability to have all the things that you've always wanted to have. This is not even just about having all the things, because if you have the things, but you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to have fun. If you do the right things and you have the right things and you don't love who you are, you're not going to have fun. And I have helped women who have come to me already having all the things and they've said, Melanie, I've got the money. I don't care how much it costs. I just want to live the kind of life you live. And I say, what does that mean to you? What do you see when you see the life I live? And they say, a man that is head over heels in love with you, a man that you are head over heels in love with, an incredible relationship with your family, a team that you love, that you work with, happiness, freedom, that's what I want. And I don't care how much it costs. You know what this means? They have the thing they thought would make them happy, and they're not. So, you can be anywhere here. You can be in the beginning and say, I don't know who I want to be. I still question this sometimes. We got this. You can be like, I get it sometimes. But then I go and I do some crazy thing that makes no sense and I don't know why I do that. We got this. And you may be at the level where you're like, you know what? I've built something and I feel trapped inside of it. You got this. At every level, you can wake up. At every level, you can wake up and decide that you want more, that you want to be more, that you want to do more, that you want to have more. And the beautiful thing about this is that you are potentiality. Like, if you can understand this just one level deeper, if you just look at your life the way it is and you imagine, you break things down to the simplest expression, like we are meant to be the same energetic makeup as everything on this planet. I remember the first time someone told me this, I was like, what? They were like, when you break down every single thing on this planet to its smallest particle, it's all the same thing. We're all made of the same stardust. We're all made of the same magic as everything on this planet. I am everything I want to be. But my humanity, my humanness is so interesting. When you observe the particles, you change them. When you look at your life, you change the way the particles move. You change the way the things look, the way the things feel, the way the things are, in the way that you look. So you are pure potentiality, and then in the way that you look, you create a different energetic makeup of things. So the same potentiality means endless, everlasting possibilities, as I look at them, I rearrange them into whatever it is I thought I'd see. My expectation crafts my life. Why don't I expect something better? Because if I expect something better and it doesn't work, I'll be disappointed. This is the trap. This is the mind emotion trap. This is the thing we've got to break through. So tomorrow we're going to go into disappointment together, and we're going to have one heck of a conversation. So what I would like you to do today is I would like you to just let your mind free. I want you to just think everything that you could be if you wanted. You could be married to the man of your dreams. You could be a multimillionaire. You could be a pilot. You could be an entrepreneur, a school teacher. You could be anything. You could be richer, happier, lighter. You could be healthier. You could be anything. What do you want to be? Not what do you think you can be. Not what makes sense for you to be. What do you want? Because I will tell you right now that a few years ago, if you would have told them that people would listen to me, I never would have believed you, because I didn't think one person would pick up the phone if I called. And here I made an announcement that I was going to teach something for 5 days. 1,300 people were pending in the group when I let you in. 420 of you are live right now. And I didn't think one person would pick up the phone if I called just a few years ago. I couldn't put gas in my car. I couldn't buy food. I couldn't do a thing. And that's not a thing anymore. So, potentiality means potentiality. It means anything. I want you to play with this. If you have a partner, tonight sit with your partner and say, let's think of all the things that could happen in our life. You could go to Spain. You could become a multimillionaire. You could travel the world. You could have a house in all kinds of different countries. You could have a boat. You could have a private driver. You could homeschool your kids or send them to whatever school you would like. You could have any type of clothes, any type of jewelry that you desire. You could help any charity. You could give. You could build schools in Africa. You could give to people. You could start your own fund, your own trust. You could give. You could change. You could give to cancer research. You could help a family in need. There's no limit. You could decide that you want to be an athlete, and within a few years you could be competing as an athlete. You could be an artist. You could be a singer. You could be anything that you want. What do you want? And just see how fun it might be to dream about that with the people you love the most. Ask your kids what they want. I bet they'll blow your mind with the things they say. They'll be like, I either want to be a ballerina or the vice president, because that makes sense together. Or like a ballerina ballerina president. I want to be a ballerina president, multimillionaire, and I want to speak 100 languages. Yes, child. Please never lose that. Just tap into, if you weren't so freaking scared that you couldn't handle being disappointed, if something didn't work in your life, if you weren't so scared that you couldn't handle that, how big would you be dreaming? And can you even imagine, if you let yourself dream that big, what kind of magic you'd be an energetic match for? Because your life is good. And you believe all kinds of crap. You believe things are hard. You believe things take time. You believe you're not good enough or undeserving. You believe that you have to give things up in order to have other things. You believe that rich people are this and that. You believe that poor people are this and that. You believe that divorced people are this and that. You believe that married people are this and that. You believe things that limit you. So you're limited. So the first thing we're going to do is just play with the mind a little bit. What do you want? What do you want to experience in your lifetime? I'm going to put up a dream thread of all the things you can think of that would make you so freaking happy to experience in your life. Where do you want to go? I feel this in my throat so much. Yes. My 5-year-old wants to be a baker and an engineer, right? And why not? Why not? I want to be a successful multimillionaire entrepreneur. That's not hard. Now, here's one thing that's going to help you if you ever get discouraged and you think, gosh, how am I going to stretch myself out? How am I going to believe these things? I'm going to give you this one thought that's really going to help you. I want you to zoom out from who you think you are in this life that you'd be the only person this doesn't work for. Because there is a huge world out there. Just look at the size of the trees. Just try to imagine how far away the sky is. We are minute. We are tiny. And even our desires are small. This planet isn't big. You can fly to the other side of it in like a day. We live on a tiny little planet. You could visit any country. On your phone, you could translate any language. Hello, can you please tell me how to explain to this fine gentleman that I'm looking for the bathroom? Can you take me there? Yes, follow me. Bathroom, magic. You want $1 million. Do you even know how much $1 million is? It's this big in the world, but you make it big. Just because then it makes sense that you don't have it. Let's stop having that make sense for a minute and see what happens. So, for the next few days, we're going to be having some pretty intense conversations, in case you hadn't noticed. Tomorrow, we're going into the disappointment and moving your thoughts and your feelings. Because what's even more important than the things you think is how you feel when you think them. We could try to say, I'm going to be ballerina president, all we want. If the feeling inside is like, then the universe hears, So I want us to rewire not just the thoughts we have, but the feelings we feel when we go there. And this is going to be one heck of a good time. I want to teach you manifestation in a way where one day, mark my words, and I'm telling you, I have clients every day this happens to me. Mark my words, there will be a day where you will be in my messenger and you will say, Melanie, it's there. It's here. That conversation you had, it just landed. I'm on the other side of it. I cannot believe it. I am on the other side of it. There will be a day, if you stay the course, that something inside of you changes. And that day's coming. If you don't give up, you keep going. We've got 5 days of this, and I'm telling you, the feelings you can get from the next 5 days are going to be like, show up for yourself. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. I can't wait to do these 5 days with you. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun. I will see you tomorrow for day 2. Bye.